Howdy doody! How is everyone today on Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Mother. So, hope all had a good week. We have interesting weather. You know, up and down, up and down. Hot, warm, nice and warm actually, and then
Cold.
cool. So
Cold breeze. Yes,
spring.
it is spring.
So.
And with spring comes pollen.
Oh goodness.
We have two big spruce trees out in the back. How tall are those big trees, do you
Probably
think? 40 feet?
Yeah, 40 to 50.
40 to 50 feet. And they send out their little pollen every spring, so the deck is just covered with this little dusting of yellow.
And the one next door, you can watch when the wind blows, it's just this cloud.
I feel sorry for our neighbors because they're getting a bunch of it too. So my allergies are loving that. I can tell you that for sure.
And yes, we just kind of blather when we first start. That gives people time to kind of tune in. Like Jan and I said, the thing that annoys us the most is when people have videos or anything, and the first start of it, they just kind of sit there and stare or whatever. Because
some of you are tuning in later, and you don't need to sit and wait dead space. So anyway, we
always have something to say.
Acknowledge that he always has something to say.
Not anything important necessarily, but we always have something to say. So, okay.
Good morning.
More rompers. Rompers?
Baby rompers.
Baby rompers. Yeah, these are baby rompers that you could purchase.
Oh boy.
So yes, and on the front of them is that awkward moment when your mom smells your butt in front of your friends.
Oh no.
Ooh. I am not allowed to date. Ever! So, my dad knows a lot, but my grandpa knows everything. I like that one. We do have a couple of patron saints by the name of George Carlin and John Lennon.
Yay, George and John.
And John said.
What does John say?
John says, I believe in God, but not as one thing, not as some old man in the sky. I believe that what people call God is something in all of us. I believe that what Jesus and Muhammad and Buddha and all the rest said was right. Excuse me. It's just the translations that have gone wrong. So.
And George, what does George have to say today?
Oh, well, and George is equally as insightful.
Yes.
Yeah. The Golden Gate Bridge should have a long bungee cord for people who aren't quite ready to commit suicide, but want to get in a little practice.
There are other bridges with bungee cords.
There are? Mm-hmm. Well, that's for people that jump off bridges.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, may as well get some practice.
I guess. According to this is completely worthless and useless, but hey. According to a study published in the International Journal of Eating Disorders by Yale University professor Kelly Brownwell, PhD, if the original Barbie were life-size, her measurements would be 38, 18, 34, and she would stand 7 feet 2 inches tall. Like I said. Well, no, that wasn't relatively useless. That was completely useless. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And things that make you go, Reading means borrowing. See?
Mm-hmm. They make you go,
Yeah. It is better to be a mouse in a cat's mouth than a man in a lawyer's hand. It's a Spanish proverb. Friendship, multiple joys, and divide griefs.
Say that again. I was paying attention to somebody had said they liked my necklace.
Oh, okay. Friendships multiply joys and divide griefs.
Oh, yes, that's true.
It is true. How beautiful a day can be when kindness touches it.
Yes, isn't that the sweetest thing? Yes.
It is. Oh, better than
Good girl.
the minting of a gold-crowned king is the safe-kept memory of a loving thing.
Oh, well, that's kind of what Mother's Day is about.
I know.
Generally speaking.
Generally speaking. In many things, it is not well to say, know thyself. It is better to say, know others. Okay. Your wings already exist. All you have to do is fly.
Okay.
Okay. If tomorrow isn't the due date, today isn't the due date. The first due being D-U-E, the second one being D-O. So if tomorrow isn't the D-U-E date, then today isn't the D-O date.
Because God forbid we do anything early.
Yes. And this one is I think they got this from Jan. I'm not real sure. Sorry I'm late. My cat was sitting on me. True.
Yep.
Yep.
Boy, when that cat sits on you, you know, you're duty bound.
May you find peace, and may peace find you.
Amen to that one.
I do yoga. Just kidding. I drink wine in yoga pants. My vacation this year is in Puerto Backyarda.
All of us, last year and this year again. Well, I don't know. Some things are opening up. We might not be true.
Sometimes I talk to myself. Then we both laugh and laugh. A book a day keeps reality away. True. I'm going to just do a couple of these because I really kind of want to end with this one here about Mother's Day, kind of, sort of.
Whatever.
Is that okay? You got
I don't
time?
care.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. A woman was reporting her
I'm
car
playing
as
here.
stolen. Mentioned that her car had a phone in it. The policeman taking the report called the phone, told the guy that answered he was answering an ad in the newspaper and wanted to buy the car. They arranged to meet and the thief was arrested. These are in actually different states. These are supposedly real. I'm not saying which state or city because it just upsets people or whatever. I don't know. So, a man successfully broke into a bank after hours, and stole the bank's video camera while it was recording remotely. That is, the videotape recorder was located somewhere else in the bank, so he didn't get the videotape of himself stealing the camera. Yeah. I'm going to stop right there. I like this. This was sent to me in 2003. Don't have any idea. Actually, it wasn't sent to me. It was given to me because there's nothing on here that says anything about sender. So somebody handed it to me back in 2003. When we're young, we often look at our parents' relationships and think, ugh, how dull. We naively compare it to adolescent love, which is erratic, pitches of hope, headiness, and heartbreak. As a teen, the feelings seemed very real to me in a way that my parents' love didn't. I confused intensity with genuineness. Genuineness takes time. Mature love picks up where romantic love leaves off, and while very different, it's also in many ways better. Yes, the sun sets, taking its flame, but the moon magically rises. Romantic love delights in novelty, while mature love revels in consistency. Dad knew the two things Mom would most want when she woke up from her surgery were her glasses and her lipstick. So he had them for her. Mature love is a payoff for investing in romantic love, which we all know doesn't always pay. And for doing the work of mature love, the giving to gain. My parents are no longer beautiful, though they were in their day. But they're clearly beautiful to each other. I miss her. Dad tells me a couple of days after her surgery, though, that he sees her every day. I know he means he misses her beside him in bed they've shared for half a century. He misses their routine and zig to his zag, and I know after she has recovered, after he's once again slicing the bananas while she pours the cereal, that as a result of all this, we will have moved closer yet one more degree.
Sweet.
Happy Mother's Day.
Why, thank you.
Oh,
Why, thank you.
I just liked it.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet. Anything else? Oh, you were going to say something about expectations?
Oh, God.
I gave you days to think about it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I had days to forget about it. I don't know.
Your sign here. Can you
Oh.
reach the sign? Let me see if I can.
Something I had in my office back when I worked. Ha!
He retired. He's so excited about that. You probably can't read this.
You can't
because
read that
it's
because
probably
it's backwards.
It says expect nothing, appreciate everything.
Yeah.
But that was in his office.
Because I firmly believe expectations are the root of all of our happiness and all of our misery. I really do. I really, 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 really do.
And we will discuss
And
that.
I think everything, any problem anybody has, can be brought back to an expectation.
We'll be chatting about that here in a bit.
Okay.
See you in a moment, Mr. Phil. Let's start with prayer, shall we? Oops. Let's see if I can knock my coffee over or knock the communion over. So this prayer is a prayer for deliverance. And, you know, we all need this one, I tell you. So here we go. Join me in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of Light, save me. Save me from my mental musings. Save me from judging myself and my past. Save me from judging others as well. Save me, deliver me, lift me above the anguish I impose upon myself through old thought patterns. Life teaches me I'm not good enough. I'm undeserving of good things. I'm not valued. I can and will fail. Reveal to me my successes and my strengths, for my past blinds my awareness. Open my heart and teach me the truth. Save me. In the name of the Ascended One, Jesus. Amen. And our gratitude is, I'm grateful for divine deliverance into the truth of who I really am. So with that said, I wanted to share with you today, last Sunday actually, in the Sunday paper, there's a new Dear Abby article, column. It's not by Abby, it's by a gal named Carolyn Hux. And it was really quite profound, quite astonishing actually. And she was talking about people who other people were letting them down. And that letting them down was causing a lot of anguish, a lot of suffering. And here's what she said. For your own health, please reset your expectations. It was two different people. She says, I feel for you both. It's devastating when people you have built into your sense of well-being choose to deny you the simple satisfaction of completing that emotional transaction. It's like subscribing to a weekly rejection. Your best option is to uncheck the auto-renew box on the subscriptions. Accept the recurring answer as final and stop pushing for better ones. What I really liked about this is where she said, they deny you the simple satisfaction of completing that emotional transaction. It's those emotional transactions that we have our expectations on. They should do this. They should do that. I should do this. I should do that. And when we have those expectations on ourselves and on others, it really binds us up. And that binding us up it's enslavement. We get enslaved to the waiting for the apology. Apology is never going to happen. Let it go. Or we get enslaved into the forgiveness. We've apologized. Where's the forgiveness? It's not going to happen. And yet we're enslaved to that. Because this transaction that should be equal, you know, I give this, I do that, then you do this and you do that, and we're balanced out, is how it feels. And they can't. Who knows why they can't? But they just can't. And who suffers for that? We do. Because we're stuck in that. Sometimes we just anguish over an acknowledgement of that we're there, or that we've done a kindness. And it's just never happens. So expecting acknowledgement, even appreciation, you know, we hope for that, we want that. But what happens is we get hung up waiting for that. When the truth of it is, people are doing the best they can. Maybe they just can't. Maybe they can't forgive. Maybe it's not because they have an unforgiving heart, but maybe they're just trying to protect themselves. Maybe the wound was greater than you thought. Or maybe they just enjoy being in that space of suffering. Because here's the deal. There are people in this world, and I call them awfulites, and they just love things to be awful. I don't know why they do, but they do. They love all of this political turmoil because then they say, oh, look at this, isn't it awful? And you have no real response to that. But they keep engaged in that, and we think, well, if we give them enough information, then they'll change their mind. There's this expectation of shit. No, they don't want to. They want to stay stuck and ain't it awful? They want to stay stuck and not forgiving you because then they can say, I'm better. I would never do that. I may be an unforgiving little brat, but I certainly wouldn't have done what you did. And they just enjoy being in that awful state of being. You ever been around somebody who is an awfulite? And I think sometimes we slip ourselves into that, being an awfulite, where we'd rather look at what isn't working and whine about it and go talk to our friends. Oh, this is terrible. Well, you know, life has terrible stuff happen to it. And there's nothing wrong with venting. But remember the 2-minute whine. We got 2 minutes. If we can vent for 2 minutes and somebody can hear us, that's really, really powerful. Anything beyond 2 minutes, it's awfulizing. And we're stuck in that awfulite lifestyle. And it's addictive. Oh, it's addictive. And sometimes we expect other people to make our world okay, and then we wouldn't be feeling so awful. Or sometimes we expect ourselves to make that other person's world okay. Oh, let me help you. Let me give you some understanding. Let me give you money. Let me give you help. Let me give you goods of some sort. Let me do for you. Which is kind of like smothering and not mothering. Because mothering is about, oh, you okay there, dog? Mothering is teaching people to stand on their own 2 feet. Teaching people to grow up. Teaching boundaries. Teaching responsibility. And smothering is, here, let me do it for you. Let me keep you small and protected and miserable. And when we do that, we're perpetuating this awfulitism. Two whole words that are made up that don't make any difference at all. But there's this emotional transaction that we're expecting to fulfill. I get to whine and you get to feel sorry for me. Well, if that other person isn't buying into that game, our expectations are going to be not met. And if they're not met, then we get frustrated and angry and awful. What if that other person is whining and they expect you to listen and feel sorry for them, and maybe they expect you to make their world okay, and you're not gonna, because you have a boundary here of them. That's your thing. Then they're going to be upset. What I'm trying to say here is that we get to figure out what makes us tick and what makes us work and walk that path. I can't walk that person's path and they can't walk my path. And if there's this emotional transaction stuff going on, if it's working and if it's fair and if it's equitable, then it's all fine. Because that's what friends are for. But if it ain't working, if it's all going one way and not coming back the other way, then it's time to take a look at that. Take a look at our own expectations of that. Not just write them off because they're awful people, but take a look at our expectations. Am I expecting that person to behave in a way they cannot behave? Then who is the problem here? Not them. It's me. So I get to let that go. I get to let them be who they are. There's a Bible verse I want to share with you. Powerful stuff. Proverbs. Proverbs is a really cool book. Actually, there's several I want to read to you. First one comes from Proverbs chapter 12, verse 25. Anxiety in the heart of a man weighs it down, but a good word makes it glad. And that's this equal thing, you know. You can be struggling, and a good word from a friend can really uplift you if you're willing to shift out of the awful. If we're not willing to shift out of the awful, then we're stuck. And no amount of good word is going to change that. No amount of kindness is going to change that. We think we have to fix it. We think we have to change that. We don't. It's not our job. We can do our part, which is a kind word or good word or encouragement. And if the other person shifts, well and good. If they don't, let go of the emotional transaction. You did your part. They're going to do their own part their own way, and you can let it go. I can let it go. I don't have to be engaged in that. It's a gift, and I can let it go. It's like, have you ever given a gift to somebody, you know, that did not go over well? They're not going to enjoy that at all. But it was your gift. Came from a good place. You just let it go. Oh, they're going to throw that away in 5 minutes. So what if they do? It was your choice to give it as a gift. You gave it. It's their choice what they do with it. And needing their appreciation to feel valued is secondary. Not necessary. That's an expectation. How many expectations do we have on everything? We have expectations about everything, don't we? Let's just look at those, because those expectations are causing us harm. They're hurting our soul. They're hurting our heart. Listen to this verse. This is from chapter 13, verse 12. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is the tree of life. So we have hope. I hope that if I say something positive to that person, that'll uplift them and they'll be encouraged. I hope that. But when they're not, it's sad. If I put too much emphasis on that, if I can give it as a gift and let it go and not have an expectation on their response or what they should think or should do or should respond in a certain way, then I'm blessed. But if not, then it makes your heart sick. But desire fulfilled is a tree of life. So the desire, I can shift my desire instead of, I hope my words will make that person better. I can shift that to my desire is to be of assistance. And then whether they choose it or not is up to them. I can empower them in their own life. And I'm not disappointed. My expectations are not disrupting my life, the joy of my being. Because my desire isn't to make your world okay. My desire is to be honorable with myself. Find the truth of who I am and do that. And that's a challenge, because I tell you, it's really, really fun and exciting and delightful to get in and muck around in somebody else's life and try to fix them. Oh boy. Oh boy. Have we ever tried to do that? Works out so well, doesn't it? Nope, it doesn't. But we get all spun up about that. And we think, well, I'll just do this, or I'll just say that, or I'll just do this or the other thing and give them this or whatever. And I'm going to make their world okay. And what comes back is blank wall, blank stare. It's totally ineffective. But if I can give out of the kindness of my heart and let go, then it doesn't create this heart sick feeling. It's not a hope deferred. What it is a desire fulfilled. I desire to be of service. And in that desiring to be of service is this fine line of being used. If I'm being used, then I'm not being of service. So I have to discern that. I have to figure that out for myself. What does that look like? Here's a clue. If it doesn't feel good, there's an expectation attached. If it doesn't feel clear, then I'm being used. Because again, the hope deferred. I hope I'm going to do this for that person and it's going to be all okay. That sets me up. But if I can choose to act from the desires of my heart to be of service, then I'm not setting myself up. And the result could be the same, physically outcome-wise, but the result of how it affects me is totally different. Totally different. One more verse. Desire realized is sweet to the soul. Verse 19. It's sweet to the soul. It is so sweet to be kind to someone. Whether they respond in kind or not doesn't matter. It's the come from that I'm coming from. So what are we doing here? What are we doing in our interactions with one another? Are we heart sick? Then there's an expectation. I did this for you, I expect that in return. And that expectation is not being met. So what do we do about that? We take a deep breath and recenter our heart's desire. What is our heart's desire? Is our heart's desire to get acknowledgement from that person that is never going to acknowledge us? then that's a false hope that sets us up for an expectation that's going to hurt. But what's the desire? If the desire is to walk a sacred path, then if it blesses that person, that's wonderful. If I get acknowledgement for that, that's wonderful. If it doesn't, I'm okay. And I feel fulfilled because I'm fulfilling that heart's desire. Sometimes our heart's desire gets all tangled up in our needing to feel okay about ourselves. We expect ourselves so much from ourselves. Oh my goodness, we're so unkind to ourselves, are we not? We expect ourselves to give ourselves up, give ourselves away until there's nothing left. And then we expect more of ourselves, do we not? And oftentimes we're engaged in that, what's the word I'm looking for? Transaction, emotional transaction with someone who's a taker. They can't give. They've never learned the beauty of giving. They just like to take. Sad but true. We smother and not mother. Mothering is this beautiful ability to help people stand on their own 2 feet. That's what moms do. Remember when kids were little and you know, you stand them up and then you put your arms out and say, come to me. Bring it, come on. You could do it, you could do it, you could do it. That's what a mom does. Mom doesn't walk over and pick their foot up and put it down and pick their other foot up and put it down. No, they'll never learn to walk. Moms don't carry them around all the time. Well, maybe you do. But they learn to walk when they are encouraged to take a risk. We got to stop fixing people. We got to stop it. Because it's not helping them and it certainly is not helping us. It brings great sorrow to us to have that expectation. We set them up to hurt us. We set other people up to hurt us. Uncheck that renew box. We don't need that. Good grief, life has enough sorrows and pain as it is, does it not? So getting rid of the expectations and walking from this perspective of a heart's desire, fulfillment of our own destiny, fulfillment of our own purposefulness. And life is a joy that way. Life is fulfilling that way. Life is a tree of life. When you have that tree of life energy, that's just expansive energy. And when we give too much of ourselves, we're drained. So take a look. Take a notice in your own body. Are you drained right now? Who have you got hooked in to an expectation? Or is it the other way around? Who's hooked into you and expecting you to make their world okay? Either way. How do you extract yourself from that? Creating that heart's desire that's very clear, very purposeful. My purposefulness is to be of service as best I can and to help that person be independent. How does that look? You'll know if it's uncomfortable. If it's uncomfortable, you might want to take another look at that. Make sense? So with this Mother's Day, we're doing things, we want to look at things from this perspective of loving motherly energy. And the motherly energy isn't making your world okay. And, oh, let me give you a cookie no matter what's going on in your world. Although there's some benefit to cookies. I think cookies have really high healing energetic structure to them. But that's just my come from. But that's not what we do. It's not about making somebody else's world okay. It's about helping someone be independent. Helping someone find their own truth. Find their own feet underneath them. Getting their own balance. Not giving our balance to them. That's not going to make their world okay. And not letting somebody take our balance from us, because that's not going to make their world okay anyway. Because they're still going to be out of balance, because it's your balance, not theirs. But when we can walk in this state of being of, my task is to help you be the best person you can be, and watch it flourish, watch it grow. How empowering is that? And that's what it's about. It's about empowering one another, not expecting from one another. So is there an apology you're expecting from someone? Take a look at that. What's your heart's desire? Is your heart's desire to be right? Is your heart's desire to be acknowledged? That acknowledgement can only come from self, not externally. Certainly it's nice to have that externally, isn't it? But if it doesn't come, shift your heart's desire. Instead of I expect an apology from that person, maybe it's I expect nothing from them. Maybe that's shifting into this I desire kindness in my relationships. Oh, kindness is not coming. That's not a relationship. Or if it has to be a relationship because I'm related to that person, then I get to be careful about how much I give to that person. Knowing that if I give it, it's just a gift. And any expectation for acknowledgement is just going to be devastated because it can't come. It can't come from that person. And then take a look at self. How can you mother self? And this mothering oneself is bringing oneself into a place of encouragement. That's what moms are supposed to do. Love you no matter what. Encourage you. You can do this. When was the last time you told yourself you could do it? I'm working on that one. It's a big challenge for me. So much easier for me to find ways to criticize and ways to tell myself how I'm not going to make it, rather than looking at how I can encourage myself. That's kind of foreign territory. But we're all learning, and we're all doing the best we can. And I think having the COVID stuff happening and our world got really shrunk down, and now we're trying to interact with people a little bit more, and it just changes everything. And in that changing of everything, we're redefining who we are, setting new boundaries to who we are. And setting boundaries to who we are, let's do this with this loving, motherly energy of you can do it. You've got this. I believe in you. And if your mother never told you that, let go of an expectation that some human being is going to tell you that and start telling yourself that. Allow this sacred sweetness to be generated within your own form. And how do you get that? Prayerfully. Ask for it. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and you'll find. Come on. It's not hard, but it's challenging, isn't it? It's so much easier to beat ourselves up than it is to just open and ask, Spirit, help me be kinder to myself. Because I guess, we're so hard on ourselves. It's easier to be kind to somebody else. Is it not? So I have a guided meditation for us here in a minute. Let me see if there's anything else I needed to tell you about that. Seems like I've covered my bases here. Just know that it takes time to adjust. Does it not? Sometimes we expect ourselves to snap out of it. Some of these old habituated patterns take a while to adjust out of it. So cutting ourselves some slack, being gentle with ourselves, that's what it's about. And we can do that. We can do that. We can be a blessing to ourselves as well as a blessing to others. Again, shifting that desire instead of desire to be right or the desire to be appreciated or the desire to be accepted. Turning that into the desire to be of service or the desire to walk a sacred path, whatever that might look like for you. Adjust. And as that adjustment takes its time, take time with oneself. Be gentle with oneself in that period of adjustment. Because it takes time for the old patterns of the energy of emotions, the energy of the mind to shift. It can happen in an instant. Actually, it does happen in an instant. But those old patterns are so habituated that they tend to try to overwrite that. So keep at it, and you'll do it. I believe in you. So we'll do communion here, and then I'll do the guided meditation. Mr. Phil, if you join me back up front, please. How am I doing on time? I have no idea. Yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Let's see if I can spill.
Takes me a minute.
Yeah, Phil's still hobbling around on his wounded toe after his toe surgery. Oh, he's just suffered so much this week. Feels so bad. Poor baby.
Infection.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Not fun. Not fun. Oh my God, that's really too big. So, communion. Excuse me, allergies again. Symbolic of communing or connecting with the Ascended One Jesus that opened the doors for us, gave us hope, gave us a clear path. So join us in prayer, please. Loving Spirit of Light, as we take this into our body, help us to take into our awareness the truth of who we are, understanding of our expectations, and a clarity of our heart's desire. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Can you handle this one? It's really full. Got carried away. Me? Yes, me. Join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of Light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life, all of it. All of it. And help us to drink in the lessons and the understanding and the wisdom. grant us peace, and fulfill our heart's desires. These things we pray in the name of the Ascended One, Jesus. Amen. Better to be sacrilegious than sanctimonious, apparently, huh, Phil?
Uh-huh.
So speaking of ascension, the actual celebration of Jesus' ascension should be Thursday. It's Thursday. That's the day he actually went from physical plane to spiritual plane, heaven. Was seated at the right hand of God. Anyway,
And
so
like
that's Thursday.
Beth is reminding us, as we always do at this time, is, we pass the hat for the church.
We literally passed the hat a couple of Sundays.
We have literally passed the hat sometimes.
I don't remember what happened to that hat.
And thanks for Roy. He got up and repaired some more of the roof this last week.
Bless his heart.
Gosh, winds in the Tri-Cities. What can I say? Never had that section of roof ever had a problem, but it had a problem. What are you going to say? So thank you for Roy and Carol and all the work that they do to keep the building in good shape and the grounds.
And all of the board members, they all have their role and they all do wonderful jobs.
Indeed.
Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you.
That's just what I was going to say. In fact, we wouldn't.
Well, that's probably true too.
Although we did at the beginning, but we got a board. I don't know. We
had to have a board for the.
That's right, we did.
So within the first year.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah.
So. Okay, had to get a board. I want to tell you about my necklace before we go on. This was my mother's. It was very kind of my brother to let me have it after she passed. It's part of the inheritance. So, anyway.
Get the contrast.
They're pretty, huh?
Oh.
So, anyway.
It's quite something.
Nice ring she had too. So, turquoise. So that's my nod to my mother. And she loved animal print stuff. Her name was Ethel. And she loved big jewelry and animal print stuff. Iconic 50s woman. It was hilarious. Loved her dearly. She was quite the treasure. Okay, I think that's all the blathering I need to do right now. Blathering? Okay, so I got a little vocal.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to do a guided meditation, and then we'll see if you have any questions or comments about that. Hoping you're having a great Mother's Day. Excuse me. So, where are we going to go today? The last few times we've begun, I thought the last few guided meditations were pretty profound. So today is going to be a little more normal, if there's ever anything normal about us. Excuse me. So today we're going to go to a mansion. So in that preparation, I wanted to tell you where we're going to go because I want you to be prepared for that. Because there's a reason for that. Am I to tell you? Yeah. So the reason I'm telling you that is because your soul and spirit are already aligning to this mansion energy. And I've already picked out several things that we're going to notice. There's plenty of things to notice on a mansion, but we're going to notice a few things and they're going to have some spiritual significance to you. But this is giving your soul a heads up. And so your soul already has connection to a mansion that has significance for you. So this gives your soul a chance to set you up to receive this information. So as we go into this guided meditation, I want you to relax and just be peaceful and calm. And I'm going to give you options to choose from. So you can just do the guided meditation and see what shows up for you. Or pick one. Sometimes people who are doing these guided meditations, they don't visualize really well. Or in the moment of a guided meditation, they're kind of a little distracted with the words coming out of my mouth. So it's easier for them to choose one. Either way works. Because you don't know the answer, you don't know what its significance is. But again, your soul is in alignment with what I've already written down, what I've already set in motion. because we're all connected. This is a spiritual journey, and it's delivered by Spirit and facilitated by Spirit. So whether you choose your answer or whether you just see your answer, either way is fine. I have specific things to choose from. You may see something different, you may not. I would encourage you, even if you saw something different, to choose one of the ones that I've suggested anyway, because it will have significance for you, okay? Anyway, all of that to say, let's get started. First thing I'd like you to do is just be in your heart space. Allow yourself to be here, be present. And in this moment, let go of all of your expectations of how well you're going to visualize or how poorly you're going to visualize. Just let all that go. And allow yourself just to be. And bring your attention to your solar plexus. This solar plexus is really powerful because this is our individuation. This is our uniqueness. This is our courage and our strength. So allow yourself to tap into that. You're stronger than you think you are. And bringing that courage into your heart space so that you can act from a place of courage. And bringing that courage into your mind's awareness expands your awareness. You have the courage to see. You have the courage to open. You have the courage to expand your awareness. And now, with the same courage, allow yourself to tap into Divine Source. As you tap into Divine Source, a portal will open. It's always open, but it'll open even more. And living light of love will pour down into your head through the portal at the top of your head. Allow it to touch your mind. And as it touches your mind, the sorrows and regrets that we carry because of unfulfilled expectations are numerous. Let this living light of love heal that, wash it away, dispel it, displace it, and in its place, this living light of love. And this living light of love is purposeful, it's joyful and blissful. And let that touch your discernment centers, your eyes, your occipital lobes, and your third eye, which is all your perceptions, how you perceive your world, how you perceive yourself, how we perceive others. And let the filters that have all those expectations of what it should be, let those filters get clear. Let them get washed with this living light of love. So the only expectation that you have is that you're connected to Divine Source. And that expectation is always fulfilled. Let this living light of love touch your ears, your mouth, your throat. This connects that circuit of communication. This allows you to speak your truth. It allows you to know your truth, find your truth. Because now your perceptions are here and your mind is expanded and filled with this divine light. So you can find your truth. You can speak your truth with gentleness and kindness without expectation. Letting this living light of love flow down into your shoulders, into your arms, into your hands, so that you can do worthy work. Whatever you do, you're going to do it with purposefulness and this desire of your heart rather than somebody else's expectation. Letting that living light of love touch your heart now, touch your solar plexus, and then flow through your whole being. So that every organ, system, tissue, fiber is reignited and reactivated and renewed with this living light of love. Letting more and more of this living light of love flow through your hips, through your legs, through your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet. And let that energy flow through your feet into the earth. And you're anchoring this living light of love into this physical plane. What a blessing. What a beautiful thing to be a conduit of this living light of love. And now gently, gently, gently close the bottoms of your feet so that you are grounded, but you're allowing this energy now to build. And as this builds, it fills your whole physical form and fills the energy field around your body, your aura. So you're vibrating at this higher level of energy. Your expanded awareness is now activated at a higher level with divine light, divine love, this living light of love. And now let's take a little walk in our imagination. And allow yourself to imagine yourself on a beautiful estate. Lovely tree-lined pathways, a grand entrance to this beautiful mansion. And allow yourself to see this mansion. And as you look at this mansion, you just are in awe. It's so beautiful. And notice what color is your mansion. Is it white? Is it gray? Is it blue? Or is it yellow? White, gray, blue, or yellow. If it's any other color, just notice that. And pick one of these 4 that I've suggested. So you can notice if it's another color. But pick another color, maybe as the trim. So either this is the color of your house or pick it as a trim, because it will have spiritual significance for you. So allow yourself to go into this mansion. You've been invited. You're welcome to attend. You're welcome to enter. As you enter, you notice this huge, beautiful entryway. And at the other end of the entryway is a staircase. Is your staircase in the center? Or is your staircase to the left? Or is your staircase to the right? Whichever way is just fine for you. Just notice that there's a staircase. Is it in the center? Is it to the left? Or is it to the right? Follow the staircase up. Follow the staircase up to the 2nd floor. There may be other floors, but we're just going to go to the 2nd floor for today. And when you arrive at the 2nd floor, you'll notice that there's a balcony. Allow yourself to step out onto the balcony. And as you step out onto the balcony, it's a beautiful day. Sun is shining. Day is warm, but not too warm, pleasant. Do you feel a breeze? Is there a hint of spring in the air? What are you experiencing? Notice if there's flowers on this balcony, if there's a place to sit. We're just going to stand and look over the balcony for now. And what do you see below you? Do you see a garden maze? You know, mazes that were created with the plantings so that you can't see where you're going necessarily, but looking down on it, you can see exactly where the center is and how to navigate that. Notice that it's very finely tuned. You know, the plants are trimmed just right. It looks beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's like this beautiful green pattern beneath you. Or are you seeing a rose garden? All kinds of roses. Some are in bloom, some are just budded, some are just babies. They have been very well taken care of and they're beautiful, exquisite. Maybe roses that are profoundly rare and you get to experience them in this beautiful garden. Maybe even have a sense of the rose fragrance. Or are you seeing a pasture with lots of horses? Which do you see? And if you're seeing the pasture with horses, notice that these are purebred horses, or maybe they're Mustangs. Whatever you're experiencing is what is right for you. But you feel the strength of the horses and you feel the beauty of this green pasture. There's plenty for them to eat. And the horses are very happy and relaxed. And there's plenty of room if they'd like to run. It's just a beautiful scene. And you enjoy just observing. So whether you're seeing the garden maze, the rose garden, or the pasture with horses, you just delight in the beauty of what is laid out before you. And as you take that in, you realize it has deep spiritual significance for you, even if you don't know what it is just yet. You receive that and feel it. Feel it in your heart space. And now we're going to turn around and go back down the stairs, back into the entry room. And you notice that there is a large entry table. It has flowers and other things on display here. And you realize that something has been left for you as a gift. What gift has been left for you? A writing crop? A box of chocolates? Or a book? What is your gift? A writing crop? A box of chocolates? Or a book? Allow yourself to receive that gift. And know that this mansion is someplace that has lots of more things that we could explore. And then we probably will at some other time. But for now, it's time for us to leave this place. And as you get ready to leave, you just take one last look around this entryway, feeling welcome, safe, protected, loved. Allow yourself to walk outside the door, back out onto the grounds, back down the driveway, passageway, back into your body, back into the here and now, fully, clearly here, feeling refreshed, feeling revitalized, and ready to experience the interpretation of the meditation. So you might want to take a deep breath in, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the here and now. So the mansion actually is a manifestation, a spiritual manifestation of your physical form, your spiritual form, all in one. So this is a representation of who you are, all right? So the color of your mansion reflects to you, or reflects back to you, your current state of being. Your current state of being. So if your mansion is white, if you see white as your mansion, your current state of being is you're open and willing to learn and willing to do. You're ready. You're ready. If your mansion was gray, then you're taking stock, reconsidering and pondering. Time for deep pondering, thinking, analyzing. Not worrying, but considering, looking at your options, noticing, seeing what's here and what's available, taking a real clear look. If your mansion was blue, you're ready to be refreshed and feel that recreation, that joyfulness. You're ready to be refreshed, revitalized. Do you have a sense of that? Now, how you do that, we'll get to that later. So, was your mansion yellow? If it was, this means you're ready to explore and reconnect with others in a new way. You're ready to explore something new, and you're ready to reconnect with others in a new way. If it's any other color, it tells you that you are making changes and making new choices right now. So if you are making changes and making new choices, and then you chose another color to go with that, know that the color that you chose to go with that may give you a clue as to how to make those changes or what the choices are leading you to. Make sense? Do I need to go back over those? So white is open, willing to learn and do. Gray is taking stock, reconsidering, pondering. Blue is ready to be refreshed. And yellow is ready to explore and connect with others in a new way. So that should give you a hint as to your current state of being. Now your entryway stairs, where they're located, is an indication to you of your next step. So if your stairs were straight ahead, this is letting you know that your next step is to open your heart and mind to positive possibilities and go forward. So open your heart and your mind to positive possibilities and go forward. If your stairs were on the left, this is asking you to clear up old business, revise old patterns into new ways, new desires of your heart. So shifting out of expectation perhaps and shifting into the desire to be worthy, be of service, to be a blessing. If your stairs were on the right, your next step is to ask for help. Ask for assistance. Darn it, I hate that. Ask for assistance or get new information somehow, or acquire a new skill. And asking for assistance can be asking for assistance. That's the other part of the coin here. When we arrived on the balcony, the balcony view represents to you spirit help. How divine source is going to help you right now on a spiritual level that will grant you help in the physical realm. If you noticed a garden maze or chose the garden maze, Spirit's going to lead the way. You can let go of having to see the outcome before you start. Know that you're going to be blessed, you're going to be guided, you're going to be led, and you can let go of fear and step forward. If you observed the rose garden, when I was saying this, I could even smell the roses. It was quite lovely for me. I hope you could smell the roses as well. This is saying Spirit will protect you. Whatever you're in the middle of, whatever's going on in your world right now, you have spiritual protection. And that spiritual protection is going to grant you a heads up if there's things that are not in your benefit, so that you can make an adjustment. This spirit protection doesn't mean you can just blindly move forward and, oh, God's going to protect you. Well, yeah, but this is part of the protection process, is giving you that heads up alert. You'll get a not okay. If it's not okay for you, you'll get a go for it if it's right for you. You'll get signals, signs, and input from Spirit that will guide your way. Guide you into keeping yourself protected into this safe world. Make sense? If you saw the pasture with horses, Spirit's going to give you peace and Spirit is going to give you strength. Both. And both at the same time. It's not like, oh, I have to sit and be peaceful and I can only meditate. No, you get to have that peace, but you get to have that while you're being active, while you're doing whatever you came here to do. And you'll have the strength to do it. You'll have the strength to do it. Sometimes we feel like we don't have it. We haven't got the strength. And this is letting you know that the strength isn't always yours. That you can count on strength being gifted to you to help you through. How wonderful is that? So then we came back down the stairs and we looked at the table that had a gift for us. And the gift relates to what Spirit wants you to know right now. So I thought this one was kind of funny. Did you receive the riding crop or did you choose the riding crop? What Spirit wants you to know right now is you don't need to keep beating yourself up. Your motivation is bliss. Use it. You don't have to make yourself do something. You don't have to beat yourself up for what you did or didn't do. You can just move forward blissfully. I love that. Did you get a box of chocolates? This is saying, try something new. It's time to try something new. Even if you don't like it, there's a life experience that is going to grant you some wisdom, grant you some understanding. The experience of whatever you're going to choose to do is going to bless you. So choose something. Take a look. Make a new choice. Try something new. Make sense? Did you receive a book? The book that is telling you what Spirit wants you to know is that you know more than you think you know. You know more than you think you know. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Well, I hope those blessed you. If you have any questions about anything else that you received in the guided meditation or any questions on what I shared here, type them up, send them to Phil, and Phil will be happy to communicate those to me, and I will interpret them as best I can for now. So, any questions? Feel free. I'm not seeing anything. Let me check in with Mr. Phil. Ring, ring.
Yes.
So, I don't know, is there any, I'm not seeing any questions coming up yet.
Lori's had one in here for a while.
Okay.
You may have answered part of this, so I'm tempted to just kind of go through it all, or do you want to do it in segments?
Go through it in segments. If I've answered it, I'll just tell you.
Gotcha. She saw a white mansion. And
Okay.
two staircases going to the second floor.
Okay, did she say which way they went?
Went up to the right and came down the ones on the left.
Okay, so up on the right, it's time to ask for assistance and get some new information, acquire a new skill. And coming down on the right, this is letting you know that you're setting a new pattern for yourself.
Down on the left.
I'm sorry, down on the left. This is setting a pattern for you where you can really, really, once and for all, let go of old regret. Just, it's not necessary to carry that any longer. Okay? What else?
Her view was of a swimming pool with children swimming and playing I guess it's in a vegetable garden.
Okay. So children in a pool swimming. This is jumping into your life fully. And planting the vegetable garden or playing in the vegetable garden. This is knowing that you're going to be blessed. You're going to be nourished by play. Play is a nourishment to your soul. So allow yourself some joyful playfulness. And that will help you to let go of the old regret.
And her gift was a necklace that her grandson gave her the other day that said, "Pray for me."
Oh, how sweet is that? So this is letting you know that that grandson may be a gift from God. May be part of your blessing from God. But your gift is what Spirit wants you to know. So Spirit wants you to know your prayers have deep value. So keep on them. Pray. Your prayers work wonders. So don't be afraid to use that tool. It's very powerful for you. Okay? I hope that helps. That was very interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. You want to do one more or just...
Sure. I have no idea what time it is, so...
10 after.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. One more.
Mary Lou said, everything made sense, but she got a mirror. Not sure what that was all about, and the book, not sure. And then she chose a book.
Okay. So the book is You Know More Than You Think You Know, so trust yourself. And the mirror is asking you to really take a look at who you are. Look at yourself from divine eyes, not from the eyes of people who may have rejected you or people that may have expectations on you. Look at yourself through the eyes of love. That's what that's asking you to do. Okay? Looks like that's it. For now, I will get back online as soon as we sign off here, and I'll answer any additional questions for you. Well, I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. Well, it's just starting. Hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day. And let's finish our services with an energy circuit. So again, you're already connected to Divine Source, bringing that energy into your heart space. Bring it to your left hand. Of course, this is opposite for you. To your right hand, back to your heart space. And as you bring that energy back to your heart space, that connects that circuit, and the energy between your hands is going to build, because the energy from Divine Source that's coming down to you is unlimited, and it's powerful, and it's beautiful, and you get to receive that. And as you're receiving this energy, it builds in between your hands. You can almost feel a sphere of light building up here. In this first sphere of light, we are going to, with our intent, gift this to someone. Maybe there's someone you know that's hurting or struggling or sad or lonely, whatever. Maybe they're just somebody that you just love and you want to send them an extra blessing of love. So take this energy and with your intent, send it to them and release it, clearing from your hands because you don't want any psychic backwash. Fresh, bright energy into your heart space. Left hand, right hand, back to your heart space and allowing that energy field to build again. I don't know about you, but this second one is building even faster and even more powerful. So take this second field of sphere of light now, this energy, and this is for you. This is for me. We get to keep this one. This is to bless our own life, to help us to fulfill the desires of our heart. So bring that energy in, taking it in, feeling restored and refreshed and revitalized, rejuvenated, and then we can be a blessing in the world. I hope you had a lovely day, and we will...
The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. Have a good one. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.